Mock Draft Monday. Welcome back to the Birdhouse Dynasty Show. Glad to have you here tonight. It is our NFL Combine recap. Time to go through the positions and see how they were affected based on some performances this past weekend. We had the quarterbacks playing except for Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. What does Jackson Dart's performance do for him in our rookie drafts? Over at the running back position, we had Bashul Tootin tearing it up, running a 4.32 in the 40-yard dash. He also had a great vertical, great broad jump. He just dominated. I think he was top 10 for his RAS score since 1987. So we've got a little bit of a riser there in Bashul Tootin. Brashard Smith lit it up, and Omarion Hampton definitely solidified himself as probably the second best back in this draft. Over at the wide receiver position, we had Jalen Noel tear it up in the 40, the shuttle, the 3-cone, everything there for Jalen Noel. Matthew Golden, of course, ran a 4.29 in the 40-yard dash. We'll see how that helps his draft stock, if that makes him a surefire first-round pick in the NFL draft. What does that do to our rankings in our rookie drafts? And then over at the tight end position, it was kind of meh. The top two guys, Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland, did not perform. Loveland, however, did measure in very well. He is basically the same size as Tyler Warren, and that had been a concern, but no longer can be a concern. Both of them are roughly 6'5", 250. A lot of people thought that Loveland would be a little underweight, more in the 235 range, but he showed up and is now basically the same size as Tyler Warren. Now, that wasn't as big of a deal as Jalen Milroe all of a sudden growing an inch on his hand, because now he's 9 3/8, I believe, is his hand size, when he was only 8.5 inches over at the Senior Bowl a couple of weeks ago. So something happened down there at the Senior Bowl that misled everybody with his hand. But that's huge, because any hands under 9 inches, and it basically makes it not impossible to be a quarterback in the NFL, but just really hurts your chances of success at the NFL level. So that was a good thing for Jalen Milroe. But again, at the quarterback position, it is Jackson Dart's world right now. He is moving up the boards. I don't know if he's technically past either Shedeur or Cam Ward, but we will see tonight what the masses think. I know that we had Foss Boss over in the draft room. If you haven't, go ahead and click on the link in the comments section. That will bring you to the draft room on Sleeper for our mock draft. We've got, yes, Foss Boss is still in there. And we're almost ready to go, Chad. All right. Okay, so I'll give you guys another minute or two if anybody else wants to hop in. If not, Foss Boss and I will just pick back and forth. So Sleeper doesn't allow me to put yourself, I can't put myself in as the 101, 103, 105, 107. I got to just claim the 101. So I will just pause the draft and then enter the picks in. Foss Boss will just type in his picks in the chat. But anyway, let's bring up that draft board for you all. You're dying to see some drafts, right? Okay, here we go. There you are now. Okay. So we've got this all ready to rock. Foss Boss, you ready to go? Let's do this. Yeah. Why make the people wait, right? Let's go do this. All right. So I'm going to fire this up. Here we go. All right. Now, I thought I had stopped the time. All right. Well, I'll just pause the draft. Here we go. And where's the draft settings here? There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to make the first pick easy here. We'll go Ashton Genty. Genty really did not lose anything. I'll unpause this pick for you, Chad, so you can go ahead and make this one. Actually, just tell me who you want, because otherwise it's going to just type in who you want, Chad, because otherwise it's going to all of a sudden go 103, 104, 105, 106. It's going to have the computer make all the rest of the picks. So go ahead and tell me who you'd like right in there in the chat room. And I'll enter the pick for you. Okay. There we are. So, yes, Cerberus, glad to have you in here. Okay. Were you not able to get in? Just let me know if you weren't able to get in. We can rattle through this draft quickly. I can unpause this, and then you could get in on the next one if you'd like. Otherwise, Foss Boss and I are going to go back and forth and make every selection here. So it's up to you. Just you're here. So if you want to participate, let me know there in the chat, and we'll get through this one much quicker. You'll get in the next one. Okay. So we'll unpause this one, and then we'll do the second draft. We'll get to it much quicker. All right. So I'll unpause this. All right. There we go. Plus goes Marion Hanson at 2, 10 to 3, Ward at 4. I think it's pretty standard here. You get the top 2 running backs, and then Tet, the top wideout, and Cam Ward, who's pretty much solidified himself as the top quarterback now, with Shedeur getting a little bit of flack for some of the questions he answered at the combine. I guess he just, to me, he came across as a little arrogant, right? I mean, like, he has no idea what team is going to draft him, but yet he was just willing to come out and be like, look, I turned everything around at Jackson State. We did it all at Colorado. And so that's what I'm going to do at the NFL. So you better all pick me. Well, dude, if the Steelers draft you, like, the Steelers do not need a culture change. Okay. You have no idea what team you're going to already, dude. So just like back off. And actually, I mean, what did he really turn around at Colorado? I'm just curious to that. Cause I mean, as far as I was concerned, he took way too many sacks, and yes, he's very accurate, but I don't see it. I don't have him ahead of the guy I'm going to take right here. And that's the guy who showed up and showed out. That's Jackson Dart. So does this mean that I probably won't have much of Shedeur Sanders on on my teams in Dynasty? Probably, but I'm pretty much okay with it, because it's not like Shedeur is is going to be a top 10 Dynasty quarterback here. Okay. Could see it happening in the future, possibly. To me, it just reeks of Caleb Williams' arrogance from last year. And we all saw how that unfolded. Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix obviously outperformed him. And at this point, I'd also take Drake May ahead of Caleb Williams from that class. So I don't know. It is what it is with Shedeur. It's not shocking to me that that's how his attitude is, being Deion's kid. But, quarterback is a different position than cornerback. All right. Now, where do we look here? I'm going to start at running back because that is the story. The running backs combined averaged a 4.4840, fastest time ever at the combine. There's my guy, Bashul Tootin. At wide receiver, we've got Jalen Royals, Higgins, Jack Beach. Jalen Noel not taken yet. Where is he? Because that is who I am going to jump on. I don't see him. There he is. Way too low. So we're going Jalen Noel here. Probably had the best combine of all the wide receivers, if you take everything into consideration. Matthew Golden had an awesome combine as well, but Noel had the most well-rounded combine for sure. Floss Boss jumps on Harold Fannin, solid pick. I don't worry about his combine too much. Some people are down on him because he ran a 4.7, but it's tight end. I'm not, he is, yes, just 6'3" at tight end, but at the same time, like as a third round tight end, I don't hate it. I do think that I'd have Arroyo and Mason Taylor ahead of him right now, but in a real draft, you're probably going to have those two guys go in the second round. So Fannin, I think at 302 is a solid pick. Now, the other, let's see, Harvey, Martinez, and Jordan James went. So I'm going to grab my guy at running back. Geez, TJ Giddens had a good combine. So did Brashard Smith. I'm just going to grab my guy, Scootin' Tootin'. There we go. So, well, he did take a team from 111 culture to 4-7 with bottom 131 O-line, and 9-4 O-line still wasn't good. So if he knows how to take his first read and clean up on the sacks, yes. And just throwing it away, I think he can be a great QB. Fair enough. I'm not saying that he can't play in the NFL. I'm just saying in regards to, it really just comes down to him versus Jackson Dart here is the argument that I'm making. I see Jackson Dart as a little more of a leader on a team rather than just having overconfidence, I guess, is what I'm getting at. All right, so we finished up this one. We are going to get Cerberus in on this next one. All right, Floss Boss. So let's end this one. End it. Okay. Delete. Yes. Okay. New mock. Let me get the settings correct here. Linear. Boom, boom, boom. Looks good. And then I will get the link into the draft here for you. Format, Cerberus, we're doing 12-team, start 10, super flex, tight end premium. Just like a half point or 0.75 tight end premium, though. We're not starting two tight ends here with a full point premium, something wild, but a little bit of a premium for tight ends. And yes, super flex. So go ahead and grab the link, guys. I'll wait till you pick, and then if we can, for this one, I would like to do every pick. So since we have 3 of us now, I'm just going to claim first spot here. Hopefully you can get in on the board here, guys. Yeah. I just grab one, either the second pick or the third pick, and then I'll have it on pause, and you can type in who you'd like at picks 4, 5, 6, et cetera, as we go on. Are you guys having trouble getting into the board? Just let me know if you are. I know Floss Boss, he's in a few of my leagues, so he may have grabbed it off of the board. What's that, Cerberus? I don't know what that means. I am let he try. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, I'll wait for you. I don't want to. I prefer to have others in, so that's why I have no problem waiting. But yeah, back to Shedeur. So look, I'm not saying I'm dropping him down to QB4 here. You can claim the second or third spot, Cerberus, because I think Floss Boss is gonna. Let me check with him that he'll be in whichever other spot. There you go. Is that you, Top Dog? Okay, sounds good. Let me make sure Floss Boss is in. Okay. So who did you think, Cerberus? Who did you like the best at the Combine? Who do you think bumped their stock up the most? Who are you most impressed with? All right, hop in. Floss Boss says he'll get in on this one too. For me, really, I know that Tootin had a great Combine, and so did Noel. You liked Hampton and Higgins. Yes, they both did well as well. Higgins, impressed with his teammates' performance, Noel, but Higgins also had a great Combine. I think it's just more the profile of Jalen Noel as a route runner, and that versus the big body type that Higgins is. But Higgins at least gave him a chance now to be in the second round, maybe even the back end of the first round of the NFL draft, possibly. Depends how wild the teams get over wide receivers. I mean, Matthew Golden now, dude, could be the Cowboys could take him at pick 12 right now. Yeah, Judkins, I loved his Combine, had a great one as well. High RAS score for Judkins. Let's go, Floss Boss. Hop into here. But yeah, for me personally, it was Jackson Dart. He had some great zip on it. I mean, I don't think he missed a throw. And you see Golden moving from early second to late first. Yeah, at least late first. I mean, he pretty much solidified himself, I think, as a first rounder. Again, it will come down to how early the NFL teams want to draft their wide receivers. Like we had that one year where everybody was trading up. Saints traded up for Olave, and then we had like 3 or 4 wide receivers go in a row. That was the year. The Lions, I think. I don't know if they moved up for the pick or if that was their original, but they they took Jamison Williams at like pick 11, I think. And it was just higher than we had anticipated, right? But we've seen it happen in the 20s where teams will go 2, 3, 4 picks in a row. It'll be wide receivers. Let's see what he's doing here, Severus. I don't see you in the room. Okay, Flossboss is having trouble getting in. Give me 1 second. I'll get him in there. So Sybaris, who did you like from the tight ends? Since that was the position that I didn't really see much movement from. I personally, again, I was not that down on Fan, and maybe it's because I liked him pre-combine, but I did like what I saw from Mason Taylor. The top 2 tight ends are definitely in their own tier. But Arroyo and Mason Taylor, I think, are 3 and 4, and then you've got Fannin probably as the 5th tight end. And Ferguson also did very well, so he probably moved himself up into the 2nd round talk, I think. But yeah, this is a very good tight end class, so it's definitely something to consider. Here, let me try and get Foss in here. Where is the mock draft? There we go. There, hopefully he can get in now. But yeah, you were hoping Fannin was going to. There's Foss. Yeah, I agree. I wish he would have done better, but now I still think he can perform very well at the NFL level. So I think he's gonna slide a little, and maybe in our leagues in my rookie drafts, I might be able to get him in the 3rd round, whereas before he would have been going in the 2nd round. So I kind of don't mind that he ran a little slow in the 40. I think that he can still outrun some linebackers that will be guarding him, put it that way. And even some, I don't know if he can outrun the safeties, but I think he'll still be getting open. All right. So I'm not as worried. He was going to have to get drafted to a team where he was going to be just mainly a receiving threat, sort of like an Isaiah Likely situation. right? I don't know that he's ever going to be a top 5. Fossboss, if you could go to team 2, and then we'll make every pick rather than having the computer pick, picks 4 through 12. All of us will make the picks. Now, the problem with that with Fannin is guys like Mason Taylor and Arroyo and the top 2 tight ends, of course, those guys should be able to play every down. Yeah, he's right. Fannin's not the type of guy that a weaker team is going to be drafting. He's going to get into a situation like Philadelphia or just any of the better teams that are looking to have a situation where they can do more 2 tight end sets. I could see New England maybe taking him because with Josh McDaniels there, they're going to go with more 2 tight end sets probably. Kansas City, sure, absolutely. Definitely anybody going to Kansas City is going to get pumped up. I'm going to see if I can get Fossboss to take the 102 here so we can get things rolling. Yeah, I mean, we all saw it with CEH a few years back, and that obviously didn't work out. The kid did all right his rookie season, actually, but yeah, now he's in New Orleans, barely hanging on to his NFL career. So, all right, guys, ready to roll? Let's do this. So I'm going to pause it, and you guys type in the chat who you want when we get to picks 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. There we go. Actually, you just tell me with your second pick too. So I'll grab you here. Fossboss, just tell me in the chat who you want. And I will make the pick for you then. All right, he's going Tet. There we go. Cerberus, tell me who you want. Marian. All right, there we go. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. And based on the format still being super flex, I would consider the third running back, which to me right now I would say is Judkins, slightly over Travion, but I'm going to go with the quarterback, who I still think is the top quarterback here, and that'll be Cam. Just I got to look at it from the way the NFL is looking at it. He's still probably the 101 pick, whether that ends up being the Titans or Giants right now, I think are the 2 most likely spots. But yeah, so now Chad, Fossboss, you let me know who you want to grab here. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Cam Ward. I love the way Jackson Dart performed, but I'm not going to take him over Cam Ward yet. Could I see it happening? It could happen for sure. Fossboss going to go tight end here with Tyler Warren. Solid pick. Can't go wrong there. Top dog going Judkins. All right. Then this is a tough one. Now, of course, it's not the same team here, so I'm not going to avoid quarterback just because I took Cam Ward with the previous pick. But really considering quarterback here and the running back. And I think I'm going to go Travion because I think him and Judkins are as close as Tyler Warren and Colson Loveland are. So that's where I'm at with those two. I could see them easily flip-flop in the NFL draft. Dude, those guys could go back-to-back in the NFL draft. Should have taken Taylor. I'm not sure who you mean by Taylor. Cerberus. Mason Taylor? You like him that much? Or you mean Travion? Okay. Floss Boss, you're going to go with Sanders. There you go. So Floss Boss is still ahead, as is most of the community, still with Shedeur. And again, if I need a quarterback, oh yeah, Taylor as okay, yeah, for Casey, absolutely, yeah, totally agree there. You know, and that goes into our pre-draft rankings. Like we can't just use a landing spot and jump somebody 5 spots at a position like they did with CEH was the running back 5 or 6 in that class. Goes to Caleb Johnson, solid picks. You're not worried about Caleb. Neither am I. I think that 4.58 40, I want to get into that because I think it's going to drop him in some people's minds. But I think that, again, is where pre-draft rankings come into play because Caleb Johnson actually had 8 runs over 20 miles an hour, I read. And that was the most in college football last year, surpassing, I think Genty got it 5 times. So, yes, there you go. You're taking him because he went 22 miles an hour. Exactly. See, you know why. Yes. So you can't go off the 40-yard dash is the most overrated thing. I saw a post on the wide receivers and the top 10 or the last 10 years, the top 40-yard dash guy at the wide receiver position has produced 0 top 24 seasons. Meanwhile, the top guys in the shuttle run have produced 24 top 24 seasons. And so that means it's by 5 or 6 guys. Like Jamar Chase was high in the shuttle, wasn't as high in the 40-yard dash. Chris Godwin was part of that. He's got 3 or 4 top 24 seasons. So that's where Jalen Noel comes in. He wasn't the top guy in the 40, but he had an awesome shuttle run and 3-cone, and therefore ended up having just a really complete and solid combine. All right. It's back on me here. I'll shut up and pick. These guys aren't waiting all night here, although we've got all night to talk about these guys. But, yeah, this is where it's tricky. Loveland is sitting there, and the wide receiver 2 is sitting there, but that means let's go, team! Let's go! Maybe this is a little early for you two guys, but I think this dude right now, based off of what he did at the Combine, at the Senior Bowl, and what he's done in college football, progressing every year, his last 4 years or last 3 years after he transferred from USC, he's improved every single year. So you're going to go Burden. Solid pick there with Burden. And it's back to you, Top Dog. Back to Dart. I don't think he's going to get past Pittsburgh at pick 21. And he could rise as high as you feel, because if a team falls in love with this guy, he could go 101. I'm not saying he's going to, because I think Cam Ward, people like him more. So I doubt he goes 101, but he could be a top 10 pick. We'll just put it there with Jackson Dart. Yeah, this is where it gets tough. because I could see Egbuka, Loveland. Those would be the main two I'd be looking at, but you could also go Golden, and it kind of just, it depends on your feeling between the two there. And I would think it's down to Loveland or Golden, honestly, or Egbuka. Sorry. Personally, I like Egbuka more than Golden, but if I really wanted a tight end, I would go Loveland. So you're going to take Hunter. All right. Well, I can see that happening because most people picking at 12 are going to be, a lot of times it's going to be the previous year's champ. Okay. And if you want to go for the home run swing, right, because Hunter could easily be the top wide receiver from this class. I mean, many people have him rated ahead of Tet at wide receiver, but we absolutely have no idea what he's going to play. So not a bad selection there. A little early for me where I would take him, but that's just because I like Egbuka, and so I'm going to go Mecca Egbuka here. Fossbus, back to you. So Egbuka, to me, I see, and it's easy for me to compare him to Buck, but Chris Godwin is what I see. That power slot, he's going to fit in to whatever team he goes to. They're going to have that role. Got to take Loveland. All right. Good pick there, Fossbus. So Egbuka, to me, is going to come to a team. He's going to have that role. He could go to Houston and be awesome right there. Hell, they could even in Washington, they could still take him even with the Deebo Samuel trade, because not a fan of Egbuka. Why are you not a fan of Egbuka? I'm interested to hear that. I know he went back to school, but a lot of receivers have gone back to school now, so I'm not really down on that. He had a solid combine. Is it a bias against Ohio State? I know that him going back to school could scare some people off. All right. But for me, I see a guy who can walk into the NFL and he can play right away. That's what I see with Egbuka. And he's probably going to a good team as well. Trey Harris. All right. Good pick. Trey Harris is sort of getting lost in the shuffle, I think, between Noel having a great, oh, you want Golden? Okay, I can change that. No problem. All right. So Trey Harris, I think, got a little lost in the shuffle. He had a decent combine, and he's definitely it's between him and Noel now for the next wide receiver off the board for me. I'm going to look running back here, and I think that I'm going to go I'll go Trey Harris. All right. So many running backs in this draft. If I was picking for a team there and I grabbed Cam Ward, that probably means I'm a little bit of a rebuilding team with pick 4. So I'm not too needy at running back yet. So I think Trey Harris is the way to go. Devin Neal to Fossbus. Another guy who sort of got lost in the shuffle, didn't have a bad combine, but didn't blow up either. I think he's a solid back. I've compared him to David Montgomery before. He's just a steady guy. Did the right move going back to college. Yes, Egbuka definitely did in last year's class. He would have gone later That's for sure, in a stacked class from last season. So now he's got the opportunity where he's, to me, a surefire back end of the first pick, at least to me. If he falls to the beginning of the second round, then one of the weaker teams in the league is going to land a great wide receiver. Because again, I think he can walk into the NFL as long as he's not going into a situation like, I guess, like New England, because then he's like the number one wide receiver, and he's going to have that responsibility and have more focus put on him. Ideally, he goes somewhere where there's already another established wide receiver, so he's the 2, and he doesn't have that big coverage on him. He's going Alec Iomenar. Solid pick. He also had a good combine. All right, so back to me here. Would like to go running back, but I went Travion Henderson. I'm going to go with Noel here because I think he should be going much earlier now. Then Sleeper's got him on here, so this is about where I'd want to grab him. Next up, back to you, Foss Boss. This is great. Finally doing this. Last time we tried this, we were using a mock draft, an NFL mock draft. And so we had to take that into context. Now, that is probably, to me, the best way to do it, but I like doing this post-combine just to see where people's reactions are from the combine. Obviously, my reaction to Jalen Noel is high. Some others, Matthew Golden, I think still went right around where he was going. So I don't think we're overreacting here by having Matthew Golden at the 203. That would. And then Jaden Higgins here for Top Dog. Little wide receiver run there, scooping up the last of the decent wide receivers. I agree on this. Just a lot of running back talent in rounds 3 and 4 in this draft. I love the talent that's going to be there for us here in the 3rd, 4th round. Bond should drop a lot. Yeah, I agree. I think that Bond will likely end up being more of a 3rd, 4th round pick. He kind of ate his own words here, just like Shedeur. And so, I mean, the talent's there for both Shedeur and Isaiah Bond. It's just that, the combine hurt him, both. Shedeur by not performing, and then Bond by talking smack, saying he was going to run a 4.2 or a 4.1, and then coming out and not doing that. So that definitely hurt him, along with, how the season ended there for Bond, with Matthew Golden definitely overtaking him. All right, so here I'm going to go with a little curveball and go Jalen Milroe. I've been high on Milroe. I don't think he's a great real-life quarterback, but fantasy-wise, he's somebody that I don't mind taking a shot on. If I took Jackson Dart in the first, that means that I need quarterback help. And so Milroe, I think, is somebody who can really pop and give you potentially first-round value in the second season. Just the rushing ability alone is all he needs. And that's where I'm at on that. Quinn Ewers going to Foss Boss. There we go. A couple quarterbacks back to back. All right. Bond drop into the second round to the Raiders. I could see that happening. Yes, the Raiders definitely need help at wide receiver. Jacoby Myers is a solid, 2 or 3 wide receiver, but definitely not somebody that you want to rely on as your number one. Of course, you got Bowers there, so if they can land a good receiver, I've seen Golden mock to him. This was prior to the combine. I don't think the Raiders are going to get Golden anymore unless they decide to take him at 6. But to me, that'd be a little high, a little foolish. All right, you're going to take Sampson here. Good pick. I thought about Sampson way back when I took Trey Harris. And now he fell down here. And this is what's going to happen with all these running backs and the talent at the running back position. So let's bring up these running backs. Ollie Gordon had you could say a little rough combine. I don't think so. Not at his weight. His 40 time was fine. Scatabo. Martinez. Tootin's there. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Royo, Taylor, Fannin. Yeah, I'm gonna take Scatabo. I know he's polarizing. I think he is an NFL player. He's going to come into a backfield and demand touches. Don't know how many touches that means in his first year, but I think over the life of his rookie contract, he will have his games where he shows his value. I don't think he's going to be leading the league in rushing, not that kind of back, but I think he'll fit in on a back. He's going to take Gordon. He wanted Camp. There we go. Scatabo is a guy that's just easy to root for. That's all. All right. Here we go. 3 straight running backs. No shock there. Top dog going Taylor, Mason Taylor, I assume that is. Now he's somebody who we can easily see going. I can easily see going at the beginning of the second round now, maybe even back end of the first. Who knows? Yeah, we still got some good tight ends here. Oof. DJ Giddens had a good. Oh man. Gotta take my guy. We're gonna go Tootin. I'm sorry, that athletic profile is just too much to pass up now. I don't know that Tootin's going to be a 3-down back at the NFL level. Not necessarily. But I think he'll do more than his counterpart from Virginia Tech, Khalil Herbert, did, as long as he can stay healthier than Herbert has. I think that Tootin's got a good shot. He reminds me of Austin Eckler. Now, he's got to hang on to the ball more than he has in college. That's his knock, is that he fumbles a little too much. But I like the excitement. At the 304, I can't complain. 3rd and 4th rounds are dart throws anyway. Now, in this draft, you want to load up at the running back position. Jalen Royals, solid pick. Love this dude. He's been compared to I've seen him compared to Steve Smith and Amon-Ra in his fight in him, his dog in him. So I love Jalen Royals. Good pick. Top dog. Let's see. Man, Arroyo's still there. Giddens, Harvey, Damian. Oh, all right. I'm going to bite the bullet and grab Arroyo. Man, this 3rd and 4th round, this year's draft has just gotten better and better as this draft season has rolled on. A lot of good players here. All right, Foss Boss, who you got? Martinez. All right, solid pick. This is a dude who reminds me of Brian Robinson in Washington. Just a steady Eddie type. Gets a team like he could go to a team like Pittsburgh and be their first, second down back. Just again, another running back that's going to come in and fight for his opportunities, and he's just going to be too good to keep off the field. That's really what Brian Robinson's done, and I see it happening with Martinez. DJ Giddens, can't remember what he ran in the 40, but it was solid. It was, I think he was one of the, it was either 4.41, maybe he snuck in at 4.39. I can't remember, but very solid performance at the combine. This is a steal at the 309 for him. I am going to go to the running back well here. And like RJ Harvey, but I'm going to grab Brashard Smith. There we go. Another awesome combine. He ran a 4.39. I know this is a really like a Tyron Tracy type, but better. Okay. He's a little bit bigger than Tracy. He knows the running back position better. He started at SMU as a wide receiver, but then shifted to running back and definitely had better running back numbers in college than Tracy did. So, Dylan Gabriel for Foss Boss. Here we go. Gabriel's been compared to Tua a lot now, not necessarily a top 5 pick that Tua was, but in that he's a very accurate left-handed quarterback. I've seen him mocked to the Dolphins in the 4th round, and that would make complete sense because of Tua's injury history, and then the ability as a left-handed quarterback, it would be a smooth transition if Tua were to get hurt. So I can see it. He's very short, Dylan Gabriel, but man, the guy produced some numbers. Here we go. Fannin finally goes. Good pick. All right, back to me here. Up at the top of the 4th round, we are looking at, I am going to go with one of my guys I've liked for a couple years now. Maybe it's just because he's got a cool nickname, and that's Rocket Sanders. So he's somebody who Devy guys would know. He had been the top running back in this class, freshman and sophomore years, but kind of fell over the last. He transferred to South Carolina from Arkansas, had a solid season, and I think he's underrated. So, like the pick here. Jack Beach to Foss Boss. Good pick. He had a solid combine. Ran good in the shuttle drill. The one that I talked about is the drill that actually shows, predicts better success at the NFL than the 40-yard dash. So solid pick there. I like it. Back to Top Dog. All right. Let's see what you got here, Cerberus. Yeah, what Ollie Gordon are we going to get? Yeah. If we get anything like the 2023 Ollie Gordon, then, it's definitely going to be a good pick, whoever grabs him. Leonard. Oh, my am I not seeing him? There we go. Riley Leonard. There he is. Okay. Riley Leonard profiles as, to me, a solid backup quarterback. Transferred from Duke to Notre Dame. Had a solid season for Notre Dame. Got him to the national championship game. I mean, can't go wrong there. And at this point in the draft, I have no problem picking backup quarterbacks because we know the injury history that's happened over the last few years, and they'll get their opportunity. If he's a 4th, 5th round quarterback and he is the team's backup, you can expect him to get an opportunity at some point. I went Jordan James here, similar to Damian Martinez, I think. This guy is just a guy that's solid, and he produced a lot very well this last year. He shared a backfield with Bucky Irving at Oregon. So, he got plenty of opportunity with Bucky Irving still there. RJ Harvey for Foss also had a good combine. Donovan Edwards, Michigan running back. Always steady. Wouldn't be shocked if Harbaugh brought him aboard there in Los Angeles. I'm going to go with Will Howard. Let me just check the other positions here and make sure I'm not missing somebody. I'm going to go with Terrence Ferguson. Seen some good comps for him, and guy showed up at the combine. Let's give him a whirl here. Back to Foss Boss. Tez Johnson. Ooh. Now this is a risky pick here, but at the 408, why not? So Tez Johnson took a lot of heat. Of course, he's only 155 pounds. Then he didn't run very fast in the 40, but his shuttle was the fastest. So again, he did what he needed to do in the shuttle. The 40-yard dash wasn't great. We'll see where Tez ends up landing. He probably lost a couple of rounds though on his draft stock. All right, Nash. There we go, Nick Nash. I haven't heard about Nash very much. I think he did well at the Senior Bowl from what I remember. But I will have to look into him a little more because I have not. There's Nick Nash. San Jose State. I remember seeing him mock to my Bucks in one mock draft. But yes, I will have to look up Nick Nash more. I'm going to grab a Will Howard here. Will took some flack, and Shedeur actually stood up for him for airmailing most of his passes at the combine. I put that on jitters. Yes, coming from a small school. And hey, small school guys, you can't be a helmet scout anymore. It doesn't matter what school these guys go to. They've got talent, they can play at the NFL level. We've seen it all the time. Look at Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. Can go on and on with guys. Rondé Gadsden, nice scoop here. Watch this guy play against Miami. And he is going to probably be better than his dad. I'll just put it that way. There's Gadsden and Top Dog. Let's finish it off here. The last pick, Jade and Blue. Cruise down the 40-yard dash. we go. He had a great time. Don't remember exactly what it was, but he ran very well. So there we have it. What did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs in the first, 2 in the second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the fourth. So a total of 11, 13, 18 running backs out of 48 picks. That's what you can expect from this year's draft. We are running back heavy, still at a decent amount of quarterbacks, 438 for blue. Thank you, Cerberus. Still a decent amount of quarterbacks. That's one of the maybe surprising things we see now. But, with the injuries to quarterbacks that are happening and just the lack of talent at the quarterback level, some of these guys are going to come in and do better than you think. Somebody like Jalen Milroe, even Quinn Ewers, who's been knocked. Cerberus, thank you for joining. It's a fun time tonight. Boss, as always, thanks again for joining. And this was a great example of a little bit of overreaction, maybe probably more so on my part, actually. But this is great. We're going to be doing these every Monday night. At the end of this month, we've got a big special for you guys. We've got Shane Manila from Shane Says and Mannequin Chill and DD Fantasy joining us, as well as John Bauer from Dynasty Theory, both part of the DD Fantasy Network. Check those guys out. They are fantastic.
Come on.
I have been a big fan of them. Great to have them come aboard. That's going to be on a Thursday night, March 27th. We're going to have them come aboard for a little mock draft and to drop some knowledge for you all. We're going to have probably some different picks going on at that point as some hype brings some guys up and drops some other guys, but we'll see where we're at. That's a whole month away almost. But every Monday night, we'll be ripping through these mock drafts. Cerberus, come back next week. We'll be doing it tomorrow morning. Matt English and I are going to be putting together another episode for y'all to check out. Don't forget to hit up our Patreon, patreon.com/Birdhouse Dynasty Show. You can check out my latest chart and my latest rookie rankings there. Thank you for joining tonight. And remember, never stop working. Yes, Cerberus, I will drop some openings in any leagues. Thank you again for joining tonight. We're out.